Welcome to the bus. Here we are in bus line 100. We're going to look at the depot. You can see my arrow. We should be starting our stops here, but we're across town about 14 kilometers away, so we'll start at the depot. I don't want to start in February, so what I'm going to do is back out here to October, get some fall in there. This is our free place setup. Line 100, tour 6 is what I'm looking for. Going back to October 11th is fine. We're at tour 21 here at 5:18 in the evening. We'll back this down to morning time to tour 6, and that's what we want. So let's start it back out here and hit the start button. Yeah, everything's good on a sunny day on a clear October morning. Looking at the map, we're going to start at the bus depot and make our way with the orange path all the way across, not really across town, but it comes out past center of town and over to the first bus stop, and then actually we come back following a yellow path, and then we have our tour 6. I'd like you to see what that looks like on Google Maps. If you just go to Berlin and zoom down into Berlin, you will find that just on the kind of the northeast, there's a little lake there, and you can follow that down on Gandhi Straße. So we look for Gandhi, and actually right there where Gandhi intersects Hansa Straße is where we find the bus depot. Right there. The BVG in case you're wondering, and we can zoom into it with the satellite view of Google Maps here. So we can grab a bus, we can come out, go down Gandhi Street, Straße, I'm sorry, but English is street. And then we'll make a left-hand turn onto the main road here, which should be Berlin Alley. So Berlin Alley is what we want. We're going to be taking this in the early morning here and take it right down till we find Michelangelo, and then we're going to take this Michelangelo back road and follow that around to the left and down south, and it actually changes names into eventually turns into Friedrichshain, I believe, and then we'll take the back roads instead of the main drag onto downtown until we get to the tourist areas. We pass Alexanderplatz and some of the sightseeing things. The orange line actually takes us down. See here, there's construction going on in this area here, so you can't go. Yeah, you can't take it straight on down. So we have to kind of go around it. So we're going to take the orange to get ourselves around it. Okay, let's go. So I'm on foot, and one of these lucky breaks I got here. Usually have to walk out to get my bus, and now it's right here, the first one up, and on this particular line, and it's waiting for me to start her up. Glad you can come with me this morning as we tour through Berlin. The beautiful city of Berlin. Get that thing started. Look at the ibis here. Start, and then poke in our code. And then we're line 100, tour 6, as we've been talking about. And our GPS and our ibis is all ready to go. Our signage on the front of the bus should be good. Just close the doors and get going. Put it in drive, pull out of park. And we're on our way. Gotta get through the front gate here as we get ready to pull out to Gandhi Street. Done this a few times. Ooh, where'd that car come from? Usually there's no cars and I can just swing on out, but always gotta look. Maybe we stop at McDonald's and get a cup of coffee. Here's Hansa Street. I don't know if it's Hans Street. That kind of blocking my view there. But that should help me find it in Google Maps. This intersection here. Well, we got some early morning walkers on this nice October 11th day. You know, it's been about 7 months since I've posted a video on the bus. I only posted one other, and it actually I'm so happy and pleased that I've been beta testing this now for 7 months. So it's been fantastic. I've enjoyed this thing so much, and they keep updating it, and it's been great. Of course, if you get lost, I mean, the GPS down in the right corner will help you out. It's pretty good now. I'm gonna blow right through that red light. It's pretty good now with the latest updates to the bus. You can have a separate tablet for your GPS if you like. Not sure if you can put the map on it. There's some other things. We're coming up on Berliner Alley, and so we want to get onto that main drag for a while and then turn left on it. You notice that we're about, 14 kilometers from our first bus stop. This is a good way for you guys that just want to tour around Berlin at any time of day, or just see the sights and grab a bus and, you know, maybe have a GPS that helps you get down through downtown, but you don't want to stop and pick up passengers. You just go to the depot, like I did, and, you know, make your first stop on the other side of town, and you're good to just drive around freely. This game's just been a lot of fun. Enjoyable, relaxing. It's a driving experience. It's a city experience, and, you know, being from the United States and having been to Germany and Berlin, I'm able to experience this virtually and get to know the city. One of my aims was to get to know the city, get to know the streets, and not just pick up passengers. And yeah, I have to do a quick stop on this one. Oh, there's a little exchange there. Two Berliner spies exchanging information. Certainly didn't look romantic to me. get to know the city streets and be able to enjoy it even a bit more if you start to get a feel for the city streets. In fact, one time I was running through the streets like this and took an alternate route because I wanted to see the underground for the train station, and so I took an alternate route to come around the backside of the Rathaus, and it worked beautifully. I was able to park the bus, walk around. The other thing I did too, one of my adventures, instead of getting on the bus and driving it like I am this morning, I started at the bus depot and walked all along here, and it kind of gave me some easy time of looking at the street signs and learning some of the streets. But it's also good, you can take the bus, drive it to downtown, park it, and get out and walk around and learn the streets that way too. It's all good. So what did I say earlier when I first got us going? We're looking at the map. We're on the main Berliner Alley now, and our next turn will be Michelangelo. Our next turn will be Michelangelo. Got a dry throat tonight. Should have had some water here at the desk and studio. Yeah, I'm on the likes to keep to the same route. Actually, for the last several months, I was doing the express route from the airport down to the city. Enjoyed that very much, but I wanted to get back to line 100. Oh, this is coming from the opposite direction because we're not stopping picking up passengers. But you know, get down to where it's familiar. Familiar enough, I knew to make this left-hand turn that this happens to be Michelangelo Street. And it's hard to tell sometimes if you don't know the streets. You know, you have to kind of cheat and look at the map, or get out and look at the signs, or see if you can get close enough to the sign. You don't always see the signpost. Berlin has the corner signpost, you know, which are really good. I love it that way. But they don't have the overhead signs that go across the street. All right, here we go. Michelangelo is kind of a nice street. It's a lot of trees, and I think there's a garden. Yeah, this is a park area along for quite a ways. Are we in the park yet? I don't know. Yeah, here we go. Sometimes I get out and you can walk through the park and they don't, you know, the game doesn't stop you from you really hoofing it anywhere you want. But, you know, these streets are quite narrow, and sometimes I end up going a little bit too much to the right and hitting the curb, and always have to be careful. If you end up driving over the center line, then the AI traffic won't want to pass you. As we make these bends and we come around this backside, this other side of the park, the street name changes, I believe. Maybe I'm not sure if it changed at this point, but I have no idea how to pronounce this. It's Nyprada Straza. Sometimes I like to call it NIP, because that's all I can figure out. Use either Niprad or Niprada, I'm not sure. Anyway. And eventually this will hook into Frieder. Wow, how do I say that one? Friedrichshain? I'm not sure. But anyway, I don't want to go right here. I want to go keep going. And eventually, once I'm on Friedrichshain, we'll come to a major intersection. Griefenwalder. I imagine if you speak the language, you know how to pronounce the street names, all this will become a little bit easier and more familiar. But we got quite a drive. I mean, we still got a lot of kilometers to cover. And we're supposed to be at the first bus stop by 8:10. Look at the little GPS window, it'll let you know. And, you know, we still got about a half hour to get there. But it's amazing how going down city streets, kilometers take quite a while. Got stuck behind some buses. I'm really loving this game. You know, over the holidays, you think I tried playing it in, you know, in the evening time with some snowfall and going down the city streets. And of course, the game itself doesn't have the holiday lights, and I know Berlin itself, and like most cities, really does it up big time and putting lights in the trees and Christmas trees, all decorated out. And it'd been fun if the game did that too. I wonder now if we just change the street name. There's a guy jumped out, beat the bus. Got a little bit of a bike lane here. I tell you, the AI's been getting better. Traffic's been getting better. They just keep improving this, and it's just, I'm really enjoying it. I talked about this in my last video about, another guy beat the bus. You know, it would just be, it's incredible as far as eye candy and scenery. It's just incredible now. But talking about the AI, it would just be very immersive if we had bicycles or scooters coming down in the bike lane. And sometimes A lot of times, I should say, the bus lane has to share the bike lane. But there are some streets where there's a bike lane to itself, and in order to avoid interactions between the bus drivers in an AI situation and the bicycles trying to pass through them. There are plenty of areas where the buses. There's some streets where there's a bike lane where the buses don't get into it, and you could put the AI bikes, or people riding bikes, moving along. I mean, there's bikes parked all over the street, static ones, but to have ones that are just moving all along those bike lanes, that would be phenomenal. How cool would that be? How immersive would that be? Yeah, this is the intersection I'm talking about. It's a big intersection. See Alexanderplatz off to the left. The Greifswalden intersection. According to my GPS, I'm going straight across it. This is one of these areas too. As an alternative, you can turn left here on Greifswalden and maybe even get downtown quicker. If I'm not mistaken, I have to look at the map again, check that out. But this is kind of the back way here. Well, it's getting close to 8. Wake up, Berlin. Time to get going and get to work. Although I think what we'll do is do some sightseeing this morning. So we're making a left here. This has got to be Karl Liebknechter. I'll just call it Karl Street. So here we are, we're at this intersection of Karl Street. Turn left and we'll be on it. I think that car is waiting for, was it a pedestrian walking by? And we'll make our way heading towards Alexanderplatz. Now we're getting downtown. This game is so enjoyable. You have a driver wheel, whether you have a Thrustmaster. I have a Logitech. I think it's a Logitech 920. But these wheels are fabulous. You wish you had a bigger wheel. These are racing car wheels, but it'd been nice, for when you're doing a bus to have a nice big wheel. I think there's a hardware mod you can get to change it out to a big wheel. I should look into that. Sun's coming up. Should be a very pretty day. It's funny when you're in the city and you stop at a light. The light seems like, they just seem so long. I was watching a YouTube video of a guy running the bus live, you know, not in the game, but actually running it live. He was on the second deck. And when you get into those trees, you can hear the tree branches slapping the bus. It was kind of, I got a chuckle out of it anyway. Go underneath here. I'm taking advantage of the bus lane, even though I don't have any bus stops. Kind of cheating. But this is St. Mary's Church right here on the left. We've been coming up on it for a while, and we're passing it by now. Now, if you're in the bus and you want to do a foot tour, I mean, this is a place where you can park at one of those bus stops behind us and get out, you know, start walking the streets along here, or go over to St. Mary's Church, one of the tourist areas, and take a look. You know, let's do that. We're coming up where the Spree River is crossing through downtown. We'll go over that, and on the other side of the bridge, there's actually two bridges. The river splits, and see if I remember where it is. I know it's right down where everything is. Actually, it's hard to forget. The bridge is hardly noticeable. It's not a prominent type bridge. That's the end of that bus lane. Yeah, here it is. Here, this is the bridge. That's the Spree River, and then there's another bridge to go over the other waterway. I'll pull over here to this bus stop. Oh, the light turned red on me. It's very difficult to get. There's 6 kilometers left, I think. It's very difficult to get to that first bus stop. It's doable. I've done it. But we won't make it today because I just decided to get out, take a walk around. This is the art museum in Berlin, and that's the Berlin Cathedral to the right. And you can see the Needle Tower behind it. Fernstedturm. I'm not sure how to pronounce that either, but I like to call it the Needle Tower. Prominent. You'll see it from driving the bus almost kilometers away. You'll see that thing. Take a fast walk here, almost a run, before we get back on the bus. Looking at the Berlin Cathedral. And here's the Spree. And, you know, look at the trash in the street. That's St. Mary's out that way that we passed, with the with the Needle Tower behind it. I noticed that there was a stairwell here, and wanted to see if I can get down it. And I've done this before, and I know you can. It's kind of neat. Come out here, you get on the river and look at the boat, river boat. Go underneath under the bridge, under the roadway. Actually, if you want to take a swim, I did that once. Right here is a good dive-off point. Unfortunately, there's no ladder to get back up again. This, if you come over here a ways, get a nice picture. Just got to get the construction stuff out. There we go. Pretty morning picture of the cathedral. Jaywalk here and make my way across the street. See any walkway. Nice pretty area. A lot of construction going on. Oh, I guess that's enough sightseeing. Dave, this is new too. I mean, this came in one of the recent updates. The buses. Now we have the street signs that are electronic and tell you. You can see the front of my bus shows the first stop or what bus route this is. So let's get going again. So this would be a place that you would, you could park your bus and, walk for quite a ways if you wanted to. Didn't take too long. It takes about 15-20 minutes to get down in this area from the... Oh, there's a quick stop. To get down into the downtown area. Creep back up a little here. It's parked a little far back. Looking at those signs. Oh, there's the horse statue. Forgot what that's called. But it'd be neat if they. And one of the things you notice. Let me back up a minute. As we go along, I don't see any other buses. I'm seeing all the kind of AI and traffic, but I don't see any AI buses. That's one thing that OMSI 2 had was, if I remember right, they had all the buses doing the routes. So whatever one you weren't doing, the AI would be doing. And, maybe that's something they're working on. I hope so. Because other than our bus, it's void of buses. You don't see them. You should be seeing them. Going through these streets, and I'm talking about bicyclists on the bike paths. But I think the first order business, even before that, would be getting other buses, AI buses running. And then once you had that, maybe if you're on foot, you can jump on a bus and ride it, and ride it around town and just look at the bus stop, the route, the tour, and take it for a ride to wherever you want to go. See how good you can get to getting one point in the city to another. They made some changes too. I just noticed, and that's why I'm pulling over here. My GPS line went from orange to red. and I missed my left-hand turn. So I think there's construction ahead, and that's why we can't go any further. So I'm going to need to make a right, and because I was supposed to make a left, and I have to go around now. But that's okay. That takes us around. Well, this is a long right too. I wonder if I can make a U-turn. You know, making a U-turn in the bus is it's not the easiest thing to do. You know, but I'm just sitting here thinking. You know, it's a 2-lane, split highway. Let's see what happens. Well, it snuck on over here. Well, if I stayed where I was, it would have been long gone by now. Oh. What? The light, did you see that? The light turned, the left-hand arrow turned green. That guy made a U-turn. I think he did. And about 2 cars went through, and it turned red. Well, let's try this again. Let's go with this now. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the U-turn. You know, I like to drive straight sometime and see how far you could get. You know? Curious. But I want to get back on track as soon as this lady crosses the street. Always got to make a nice wide turn with these buses. Okay, so we'll get back on track here, and make a quick left. Being careful not to take any posts down. Yeah, you know, this is basically the reverse direction now of the actual bus route. You can see in the GPS how the yellow is our bus route, overlays the red alternative route that we're coming back with. I always thought this was funny how the road just kind of goes from 2-lane and goes to a 1-lane and goes back to, I guess it's just a passing lane, you know. This would be an interesting area here to walk around. Try to get more familiar, a little bit of a park area. Just flying down this street. Look at that. You see that sign fall down? The bus stop on the other side. I've been noticing this and I hadn't been able to place it, but I'm starting to think it happens when you're approaching a bus stop while you're on an alternative GPS street. You're not on the one you're supposed to be on, and you're on an alternative one. I could be wrong. Maybe it's that same bus stop. I'm not sure if this was the what's it called? The John Foster? Forgot the name of the street. Yeah, I wasn't planning on coming down here, so I don't remember the name of the street. But it was weird. It was weird how you... Yeah, I'm about ready to come up here on the Tiergarten. I think this is the Tiergarten area. And that circle has a monument in it. We'll see when we get to it. Yeah, I'm in this area now. I'm not sure of the street names. But, you know, I'll learn them. I'll get to it. Sun's starting to come up pretty good now. This is the circle I'm talking about. I think OMSI 2 had the same circle. That's the Victory. The Victory column. Swinging this big bus around the circle. I'm so used to turning off, and I have to go around it a bit today. Okay, we made it around, made it out of that circle. Here now. Yeah, I think it'd be neat to walk around the Victory column and take a look at some of these gardens. Well, I didn't have much to say. I'll break for this. This light kind of caught me by surprise. Didn't have much to say today. I just was taking a nice morning drive and stopping to look at some of the sites, kind of get familiar with some of the sites and what they are and what they're called. Figured I'd bring you along with me. And look, we should be turning right here. Every now and then it makes sense to check the map. Hey, look at this. The red's going to turn orange, which means we're back on the planned route. This was fun because it took us around the Victory Garden, the Victory column, on the big circle. Always got to do a nice wide turn with this bus. Clipping the curb, hopefully not. Some of these back roads can be challenging. They're very narrow, but the bike path helps a lot. lot of traffic back here. This would be a nice place for them to have a bicyclist come zipping around. Yeah, I'm going to try to squeeze in here. I'm going to make a right-hand turn, guys. Keep an eye on my mirror. This here to the right looks like a Japanese garden. I'm not sure what it is. I need to go check that out sometime. Actually, now I think about it, I did get out once and walk over to the fence is locked. You can't get in there, which surprised me because a lot of these gardens they let you walk through them. There's a clock, that's neat. It shows me I'm late. Well, I'm gonna be late, I think. Let's see, it's yeah. Still got a few kilometers to go. I'm supposed to be there now. One of the things I've been finding out though is when I am picking up passengers and stopping at stops, I never can seem to stay on time. I always at the end of the day end up being about 5-6 minutes late, sometimes more. Every stop you lose a few minutes, you know, a few seconds, but after 3 or 4 stops you lose a minute and then another minute, and before you know it, by the end of the route you're 5 to 10 minutes late. And you know, oh, this is the zoological garden. Nice. We have to turn here. You can see that. Be careful not to take any poles out. This is a tight street. This is one of these back streets. I mean, in other words, I got off and we did some sightseeing, so it's definitely possible. I've done it and made it in time, so it's definitely possible to go across from the depot and make the first stop and pick up passengers. But one of the things I had noticed when I'm picking up passengers, I never could keep time, and I am, you know, speeding around as fast as I can in this bus. And I noticed when I was watching videos of actual buses in the streets, they are methodical, yes. I'm sure going the speed limit, but they're you know, they're safe. They're taking their time, and they're making their way through. And I don't want to play beat the clock with passengers on board. It seems like, I don't know if the timetables are probably correct. I just don't know how in reality they keep those timetables. And it just doesn't seem that way when I watch the YouTube videos of others doing it outside the game and in reality. But anyway, this is the other bus depot area before we get to the first bus stop. Thanks for watching, and we'll hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll catch you next time.